with some of my most popular uploads in the past being me actually just washing a car from start to finish, I thought it was about time I gave another one a go. So strapping is slightly longer than normal, about 25 minutes. You might want to grab a cup of tea and enjoy it. I'll talk you through my process and what I'm using at the time of using it, so you gain a real understanding and grasp of how I wash a car personally. As always, start with the wheels and the arches. The arches are a real thing for me. I really quite like clean arches on a car once it's done. I really think it finishes it off. Along with the little painted lip that tucks into the arch, to have them nice and crisp, it's like that extra 10%. So like I say, wheels and arches first. I'm using my Kanzil K10 122 pressure washer as always. If you have a look in my last video, it was used there as well. As everything I use will be linked in the descriptions below also. So first of all, rinse off a wheel, and then I'll come back in with some Auto Finesse Imperial. I buy this in the Pro 5 litre size. This gives me a little bit more flexibility to how I want to use the product, and I tend to dilute it roughly about 1 to 6. Then I always start with the lug nuts, the centre of the wheels, the more detailed areas and aspects of the wheels. So on these massive open design Mercedes ML wheels, I decided to go with a Swiss Wax wheel brush for the lug nut area, and also I always try and get in around the valve stem and any other areas. So you'll also notice the AMG lettering was given a little tickle over, and as well as the brake caliper and any tighter areas that needed it. Once that's done, I like to speed the process up a little bit really. I take a synthetic lamb's wool wash mitt. It's nothing special. I think it cost me £6 for the two on Amazon previously. Then I just attack the rest of the wheel. And the good thing about this is I'm doing the face, I'm doing the inner parts of the spokes, the outer parts of the spokes, the outer lip, the behind the spokes all in one go, and it's just really speeds up the process. And on this wheel, because of the style of the design, it becomes very easy to do when you're using a wash mitt. They're big wheels, it's going to take a long time just to do with that little Swiss Wax brush. So like I say, that's why I do the detailed areas first, and then I'll come back in and attack the rest of the wheel design, bar in the barrel, with the wash mitt. And for all intents and purposes, just because of the size of the wheel, you could probably do it with the wash mitt, but for a little bit of continuity, I hit the barrel with a different brush. And in this instance, it's due to accessibility really. I've taken the Vicane long reach handle brush. Gives me a little bit more bite than an easy detail brush. However, due to the really soft bristles, I know it's still fairly safe on these wheels. Once that's said and done, it's on to Auto Finesse Verso. They're dedicated all-purpose cleaner, perfect for anything from engine bays right down to soft interior cleaning. I use it really solely based on the outside of the car, unless I'm doing heavy carpet cleaning at the moment. That teamed up with a Tough Shine fire brush. If you haven't got one of these, you've got to grab one. Like I say, all the links will be in the descriptions below. That Verso diluted down to about 1 to 4 on the outside of the vehicle. That's about where it needs to be, unless you're doing some heavy door shut degreasing, so to speak. And then once done, like I say, I like to attack the arches. Again, using the same Vicane long reach handled brush, gives me good access into all areas and aspects of the wheel arch, ensuring all components back there are clean. With all that said and done, it's time to start again with the rinsing process, starting at the top of the wheel arch into the dirtier areas of the wheel arch first, rinsing top down as we do in a normal fashion. That's then done, back onto the wheel, back round the tyre, just to make sure that's all perfect. So with all 4 wheels now done, it's time to hit the pre-wash. To start with, I like to rinse the vehicle down thoroughly, try and knock off as much of the grime as possible before I let either Citrus Power or Avalanche set to work. Tends to work the best way for me, following up from the video I made on the Citrus Power on my little Fiesta. It seems to be a good way to be able to rinse as much of the dirt off as possible, then come back in with your chemical, then rinse it again. It's quite an elongated process, however it does remove as much dirt as possible before you then start your contact wash, which is what you want. You want to make that wash safe as possible, especially when you're working on a black car like this. These cars show up swells like no other. Now with your pre-rinse done, I come back in with again the Kranzel, this time running a PA pressure foam lance on it. However, at this time in the video it decided that it had enough and it didn't want to foam a car for me anymore, so I still went through with it and got as much of the pre-wash on the car as possible. Pre-wash in question is Auto Finesse Avalanche. I run 200ml in the bottle of a 1 litre bottle, topped up with 800ml of warm water during the winter. Normally that would create a very thick pre-wash that will cling onto the car for at least 5 to 10 minutes, which allows me then to run my water buckets ready for the wash process. However, like I say, the PA foam lance decided that today was its last day and its last leg, so I will be investing in a new foam lance. Anyone's got any suggestions, be sure to leave a comment down below. Like I say, that was left on the car for roughly 5 minutes. I've cut that down just for editing process. I'm sure you don't want to sit and watch snow foam fall off a car for 5 minutes. And then again onto stage 3 effectively of the pre-wash, which is re-rinsing the vehicle again. Usual fashion, top to bottom, making sure you're methodical with all of your work, removing all of the pre-wash prior to your contact wash. So with my final rinse down of stage 3 of the pre-wash now done, it's time to move on to the wash process. Now we're all familiar with this, 2-bucket wash method, both filled up with warm, clean water, and then a handful of Adams car shampoo applied into the wash bucket only. About 3 good squirts I give that. Then that's lathered up with the Cranswick pressure washer. The wash medium of choice is the Adams synthetic wash pad. I believe it's either a 9x9 or a 10x10 wash pad, so you cover a serious amount of surface area in one side of your wash pad, which is lovely. And being a white wash pad as well, it's great because it will show up any loose or trapped debris that's hiding within the fibres of the wash pad. So yeah, I've been on this wash pad probably for about 2 or 3 years now, and I can't really fault it. I have seen that Matt Morman in America is trying to, I believe they got the largest style microfiber wash pad off the ground. I'm yet to purchase one. That might tease me away. However, I do like the synthetic or the microfiber side of the wash mitts due to the longevity I can get out of the wash pad. I love a lamb's wool, and I think there's probably nothing softer you can wipe your car down with. However, with all lamb's wool wash mitts, you're probably going to get sort of 3 to 4 months use out of any of them before they start degrading down. That's to be expected, really. It's a natural product. It will go down and it will degrade. So, like I say, that's why I tend to opt for the synthetic one. I've not really noticed the difference in the quality of the wash. It's not really that inferior. I'm sure if you was washing a solid black super soft paint, you might notice the difference, but then I'd be using a different process. Once the upper half of the car is done, I take the microfiber wash pad, which is slightly smaller, and I attack the lower portions of the car. So you can see the swage line halfway down, or probably in the bottom third of the door. That's my marker on this car, along with the lower areas of the bumpers. And the microfiber pad is sort of a workhorse. I know it's going to get dirty, but when I put it back in the bucket, it's going to be easy to wring out. So yeah, I take that medium to do my lower portions, and I'll also do the door shuts with that as well. I tend to like to shampoo a door shut. It takes an extra 2 minutes, but more often than not will finish that maintenance wash off nice. And also it will save your drying towel or your other microfiber towels from getting clogged up in sandy road grime debris. It's just another little 2-second step that I take. Unfortunately I didn't manage to capture it in this video, but maybe next time I will for you. With the wash phase now done, it's time to rinse the car for a 3rd time. As always, top to bottom, you've seen a car rinse 1,000 times, so I'll probably stop talking at this point. As I mentioned earlier, all of the products that you'll see me use in this video, or as close to the products I use in this video They'll all be linked in the box down below, so click on there, have a click through, have a little browse on the shopping. That's all an Amazon link that goes through and contributes to the upkeep of running this YouTube channel. It just helps me along the way, buy chemicals here and there so I can continue making these videos. With the rinse stage now done, I take a Aqua Deluxe and a bottle of Auto Finesse Finale. Again, I buy Finale in 5 litres just because I use so much of it. That's then put into an Auto Finesse Pro bottle with a chemically resistant grey trigger head. That's my drying aid of choice. Keen-eyed viewers might have noticed that I'm wearing a poppy on my hoodie. So this was filmed actually back in November of last year. I'm just terrible and slow with my uploads and editing, so I've been harbouring this one for a little while. So November's an interesting time because you'll get a day whereby you'll wash a car and once it's dried you have nothing else, and then you'll get a day whereby once it's dried you could probably hand polish and wax it. This day being the first, so I like to take Finale, use it as a drying aid. I dust the panel down. That will just add a little bit of lubrication to the drying process. It'll add a little bit of protection, a little bit of a winter top up, and what I actually do is disperse any further sitting water on the surface, a bit like something like wet coat or one of these sort of hydrophobic properties. Just makes that drying process a little bit easier and a little bit safer, and that combined with the Aqua Deluxe, it really is a breeze to dry, and of course that's a nice way of just adding a little bit of protection to your door shuts as well, an area that probably is prone to neglect. I'm sure we're all willing to admit that, so a little bit of Finale goes a long way, and if anything it just makes them that little bit easier to wash the next time round. Now with the bulk of the drying done, it's on to the cracks and crevices and all of the trapped water. This is done with the Master Blaster Sidekick, my blower of choice for the last 5 or 6 years now. This is the one I bought 6 years ago. I think the only thing that's different is I put a different mains lead on it, so the mains lead I'm now running is blue instead of black. That allows me to be able to walk around the car and not drag an extension lead around. I think that's running at about a 6 meter cord, 6 or 7 meter cord on there, so that allows me to plug it in the garage and be able to walk around the car. It's sufficient for what I need. I've never had to blow a whole car dry, so I've never felt the need for a larger one. However, this is more than powerful enough if I need to dry around badges, engine bays. I've dried full engine bays with it, dry around grills. I always dry wheels, always dry tyres with it. You can do your door shuts with it. It's a very powerful little bit of kit for not a lot of money. Again, if you haven't invested in one of these yet and you're looking for your next upgrade in your wash process, this is going to take it to the next level. It's just going to stop any drips and streaks forming once you've actually washed the vehicle. It's another one of those little 5% tools that's going to really help finish off your detailing process. With the drying process now fully complete and any last water drips mopped up with the Aqua Deluxe again, it's time to concentrate on the finishing process. We know the paint looks smart because we've done it with Finale. So next on my hit list was the tinted glass. This is done with Auto Finesse Crystal, my favourite glass cleaner on the market at the moment. There's no gimmicks with it. It is just a hard working streak free glass cleaner. It's safe on all types. I use it on Perspex engines, on multi-million pound supercars, down to standard glass on Mercedes and BMWs. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and more often than not you can get away with just using one cloth. Here I'm not using a glass waffle at all or anything fancy like that. It's just a split pile ultra plush microfiber. So on one side you've got quite a deep pile, and then on the other you've not got pile at all. I'm using the flat pile. I find that best to give me a streak free window clean when using Crystal. Any questions around the glass cleaning process, or if you'd like to see more videos on that, be sure to drop a comment below, and I will try and help you out there. And then finally for this process, it's back to where we started: the wheels, the tyres and the arches. The arches, again, like I said earlier, it's a big part of the detailing process for me, so I always take the time, take a little bit of Auto Finesse Dressel straight out of the 5 litre bottle into a 1 litre Pro bottle, and then straight into the arches through a chemically resistant trigger. That is a winning choice for me. And then I again use Auto Finesse Satin Tyre Cream, which is a layerable tyre gel. I like matte finished wheels, so I take a handy puck and a tyre pad, and I only give it one layer. The great thing about satin is, if you're more of a shiny kind of guy, once you've got your base layer on like I do, you can then come back, give it a second coat, and that will increase your gloss levels. Anywhere between 2 and 3 is where you want to be for a high gloss finish. Now, as you can see, it's quite annoying because you can't always get to the bottom of your tyre. Now, a lot of people would just think, yeah, the tyre looks great, but we're all about that 5%. So at this point, once you've dressed as much as you can, dress all 4 tyres and arches, so all you've got left is the bottom of the tyre. Jump in, roll the car back maybe 40-50 centimeters, and then you've exposed that area that you couldn't reach before. Then all you do, come back with your handy puck and a little drop more satin, work that in, and then when you drive down the road, you're not going to have odd looking tyre dressing that makes you look like you've got an ill balanced wheel. Again, another little 5% trick that will get you noticeably better detailing on a maintenance process. And that's it. This ML now looks as it should, clean and shiny, ready to hit the roads again. As always, really appreciate you taking the time to watch this extended wash process video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, share, like, comment, subscribe and all of that good stuff for more detailing videos in the coming future. Thanks again. Cheers.